The purpose of this training is to go over who the Pershing Rifles Group is for new National Headquarters Command staff members. If you do not have a pen and paper out or somewhere to take notes, please pause the video and do so before continuing. For this slide, I'm not going to read the entire thing. I would suggest that you pause the video and read through it on your own. However, I do want to point out a few main parts of the background of the Pershing Rifles Group. The Pershing Rifles Group, which began back in 2008, is the higher headquarters to the Pershing family of organizations. Over the past few years, the Pershing Rifles Group has worked to assist the Pershing family with growing all of their organizations despite the decline in assistance from ROTC units across the country. In 2011, the Pershing Rifles Group was officially recognized as a not-for-profit 501c10 organization. Most recently, in 2016, the Pershing Rifles Group not only reached a merger agreement with the National Society of Pershing Rifles Alumni Association, but also forged an allegiance with the National Society of Pershing Angels. The Pershing Rifles Group is recognized as a 501c10 nonprofit organization, which is incorporated in Delaware. A C10 is a lodge system, which mostly applies to the National Society of Pershing Rifles. However, alumni chapters can consolidate under the Pershing Rifles Group if they file taxes once a year. The mission of the Pershing Rifles Group, again, is to provide advice, assistance, and support to its member organizations, partners, and affiliates. The Pershing Foundation is recognized as a 501c3 nonprofit, which is incorporated in Delaware. The mission of the Pershing Rifles Foundation is to support activities that develop outstanding traits of leadership, scholarship, and military excellence among America's youth, and to expand the legacy of General of the Army's John J. Pershing through service. It is important to note that any alumni who wants to make a tax-exempt contribution, scholarship, or event to NSPR would go through the foundation. The PRG purpose. The group is organized exclusively for charitable and educational purposes. Our purpose is threefold. A. To assemble college students in a national, fraternal, or sororital organization dedicated to developing to the highest degree possible outstanding traits of leadership, military science, military bearing, and discipline within the framework of a military-oriented professional organization. B. To assemble high school students in a national honor society dedicated to instilling the principles of leadership espoused by General of the Army's John J. Pershing and the National Society of Blackjacks. C. To assemble alumni of Pershing Rifles and Blackjacks in a national association dedicated to preserving the ideals espoused by General Pershing, and to provide a network of support to active and alumni members of all of our organizations. This slide shows how the flow works throughout the Pershing family partners and affiliates. At the top you can see all 5 organizations that fall under the Pershing Rifles family: Pershing Angels, Pershing Rifles, the Pershing Rifles Group, the National Society of Pershing Rifles Alumni Association, and the Blackjacks. The Board of Directors, which is comprised of different alumni from the Pershing family, meet in order to discuss matters within the organizations, look through our budgets, and make decisions that affect the Pershing family of organizations as a whole. The Chief Executive Officer of the PRG reports to the Board of Directors. The PRG staff is the higher headquarters to all of the organizations and works to advise, assist, mentor, and support all of their partner organizations. The Pershing Rifles Group is the legal parent and focal point for the Pershing family of organizations. The PRG coordinates support, resources, and ensures uniformity across all Pershing organizations. Finally, we have 2 affiliates: the Military Order of the World Wars and the World War I Centennial Commission. The Military Order of the World War's motto is, "It is nobler to serve than to be served." The Military Order of the World Wars can assist in providing support to local PR chapters that don't have organized alumni, and should also develop relationships with existing local chapters. As we talked about on the last slide, there is a board of directors that oversees all of the organizations. The board of directors includes 2 representatives from the National Society Pershing Rifles, 2 representatives from the National Society Pershing Angels, and 2 representatives from the National Society of Pershing Rifles Alumni Association. Those 6 members are all voting representatives from those organizations. There are 5 directors at large that are elected by the sitting board of directors who are also voting members. They are replaced individually as term expires or vacancies arise. Finally, there are 4 ex officio representatives. These members do not have the power to vote, however, they still attend every meeting and can provide input. These members are the Pershing Foundation Executive Director, the Pershing Rifles Group Chief Executive Officer, the Pershing Rifles National Commander, and the Blackjacks National President. As I touched on in the previous slides, there are many duties and responsibilities of the Board of Directors. Their legal duties include duty of care, duty of loyalty, and duty of obedience. For duty of care, the Board works to make informed business decisions, specifically for material information. For duty of loyalty, the Board works to act in good faith to advance interests of the corporation and refrain from conduct that injures the corporation or is contrary to the will of the leadership and board of directors. For duty of obedience, the board works to remain faithful and pursue goals of the organization, follow governing documents and policies of the corporation and your respective organizations. Their specific duties, as outlined in their bylaws, are to determine the group's missions and purpose, select and appoint a chief executive officer, govern the group, acquire sufficient resources from the group's operations, and to provide financial and legal oversight. The Pershing Rifles Group is made up of staff members, just like every partner organization. The Chief Executive Officer, or CEO, is the head person in charge of the Pershing Rifles Group. The CEO is the counterpart to the National Commander. The Deputy Chief Executive Officer is the counterpart to the Chief of Staff. The Chief Administration Officer is the counterpart to the G1, the Expansion Officer is the counterpart to the G2, the Chief Operating Officer is the counterpart to the G3, the Chief Logistics Officer was formerly the counterpart to the G4, the Historian is counterpart to the G5, the Chief Information Officer is the counterpart to the G6, and the Controller is counterpart to the G8. As a command staff member, having a PRG counterpart is one of your biggest assets. The PRG member's job is to make sure that you are on the right track with your position. You can go to them with any questions or concerns, and they should be able to help you figure out the right path to take. So other than being the counterparts to the staff members, what exactly does the PRG do? First off, the PRG provides the umbrella for the Pershing family of organizations, which leads to them helping with the reduction of costs and overhead through combined resources. They oversee financial accounting and bookkeeping support. The PRG coordinates annual tax filings and preparation of all official financial reports. They make sure that all of the organizations maintain their insurance so that we can all remain organizations. They also maintain consolidated information management through the UMS, or Unit Management System, which is the system that works with dues, NatCon registration, the online store, and personnel management. In addition to all the things on the other slide, the PRG also coordinates uniform branding and provides messaging support. They consolidate vendors and licensing agreements, just like the change to Glendale for our vendor. They also oversee contract negotiation and legal protection and trademark maintenance. Another major thing to note is that the PRG coordinates and conducts all investigations that take place, such as hazing violations, harassment, discrimination, and incidents involving injury. This is extremely important, granted the rise in these types of incidents all over the world and even in our organization. The PRG staff serves as advisors providing support, resources, and assistance as needed to partner organizations' counterparts, but retain ultimate legal authority. It provides IT development and technical support to Pershing Rifles, NSPR AA, and the Blackjacks. Finally, they conduct annual trainings for anti-hazing and discrimination, financial management compliance, IRS, Information Technology Systems, UMS. As you can see, the Pershing Rifles Group is in charge of overseeing many different organizations and has many different jobs and positions to uphold. The final thing that we need to go over in this presentation is the importance of Office 365. As you most likely know, Office 365 is what we utilize as an organization for just about everything. We use it for our emails, the OneDrive, SharePoint, and Calendar. Without Office 365, frankly, our organizations would be a mess. So make sure that you are doing your part to keep it updated. Keep your calendar up to date in order to make sure the people that you are sharing it with are up to date on when you are available and when you are not. And remember, whatever you do on your Office account will be used as continuity for the person that follows you. The more you utilize the OneDrive, the better you are setting up your position for success in the future beyond you. We, as the PRG, will utilize Office 365 for nearly all correspondence with the national headquarters, so make sure you keep up to date on it. This wraps up this presentation. Once again, congratulations, and as always, let any PRG member know if you have any questions.